Seen them play with more attacking intensity at home, and certainly when they played FCU a few weeks back, the second of their 2 3-0 wins over them.
Yeah, you look at the players they're missing that game. Shalbad still sitting out red card today as well, and also that last game, maybe that's the thought process. You go a little bit defensive, make sure you increase your odds to come away with something from that road trip, get that extra point. 0-0, show you can play a little bit of defense at that point.
I'll run you through the teams. Michigan Stars, no surprise to Tenda Makruva in goal. The former Zimbabwe international has had a really good first half of the season. Jonathan Firmino, Vasilio Zogos, Stephen Yunchai, Cyrus Tran, Leon Marich, Jacob Campbell, Yakov Shmelev, Caio Nogueira, Elias McLeod, and Matt Constant. Flower City Union with Michael Ortega in goal. Alex Ainsko, Nakai Kid DePoint, Jay Lee, the former Michigan Star, Jordan Sailing, Colin Mueller, Sunil Viracone, Mitchell Brickman, Lucas Fernandez, their top scorer, 5 goals on the season with Dre Deese and Austin Kranick. With the Stars in white, Flower City Union always kitted out so spectacularly in black and purple with pink numbers that you can see from a distance, which is always something that is a concern to you and I and not many others.
Broadcaster's dreams numbers right there.
The Stars on 16 points, trying to stay within shouting distance of Chattanooga, who are 8 points clear of them at the top of the Eastern Division. Taking out a Flower City Union team that has conceded 35 goals this year. That's the most in NISA. A goal differential of -23. And away we go with the Stars moving left to right in this opening half. Flower City Union attacking the goal to our left. And you said it, that little bit of missing fullback depth for the Stars. The Shalbut suspension, a 3-match ban after a straight red card, and their defeat to Maryland Bobcats in their last home game. And no Anthony Bowie as well. We're thinking Yakov Shmelov playing at right back and Jacob Campbell on the left side. That's Firmino, who has scored twice this year, trying to come forward. And one thing we've certainly learned about the Stars in their matches that we've seen so far this year, Chris, not afraid to be patient and to build patiently and kind of methodically and then strike as quickly as they can.
Yeah, the willingness to knock the ball around and wait for something to open up. But you see the change of pace already into that final third, maybe something a little bit missing in their last loss at home.
Jacob Campbell racing forward. Cyrus Tran just straight offside. Love the idea, though, Campbell picking the ball up in midfield and racing a long, long way with it. Nobody really picked him up.
Yeah, really ended up having some space available to him and took it quick and applied the pressure on the back line.
Over the top, very direct. Makruva takes off his chest, heads out of play. If you've not seen a Michigan Stars match before, you can expect to see a lot of that from Makruva. He really expresses himself in a way that not a lot of goalkeepers do.
Yeah, more than comfortable coming off the line and receiving the ball in different ways. And at this point in goalkeeping, that's really what it's about, being that 11th attacker, being able to do well with your feet, your body. It's not just your hands anymore.
Was Lee trying to change the point of attack. Hammered high, not quite out of play. Dre Deese brought that down. He spent his collegiate career on either coast, sometime at Central Florida, then out to CSUN, a rebranding of Cal State Northridge. Well read in the center of defense, and then the ball played wide for Stephen Yunchai. Scored twice against Flower City Union when they played them here at home. Back with Caio. Yunchai outside of him to the right. Caio has to go backwards. This is Shmelev. Offside flag up against Leon Marich.
Always going to be some protesting coming on that. Marich thought he was squarely onside on that ball forward. A couple of good direct balls, though, early in this game by Michigan Stars, showing some space and willingness to try getting behind the back line.
Marich was just fabulous the last match between the two teams. Finally got his goal midway through the second half. He had certainly earned one the way he had played through the first hour.
Yeah, so much of a willingness of hold-up play from whoever they play up at target. Hold-up play and also the willingness to defend and chase. Just keep that back line uncomfortable under possession.
It's constant for Marich, dropping back a little bit. You do see some big number 9s that don't like dropping back and having to defend and pick up the ball in midfield. He's a guy that doesn't mind that. Back with Makruva. Yikes. That was almost a disaster, being put under pressure by Lucas Fernandez. That is the risk that you run when you want to dance with the ball a little bit as a keeper 35 yards from goal.
And you think about the experience he's got doing that, he's able to recover quickly, a little bit outside the foot, evades the attacker, starts the attack the other way.
Yeah, but even when there is something of a loose touch, still so cool, calm, and collected, which you really admire about the way that he plays. It's a foul and a Flower City Union free kick. Just one win away this year for FCU. Really impressive one. 1-0 at Chattanooga at the end of April. Late goal from Lucas Fernandez. Scores a lot of late goals. Somebody worth watching all the time, but especially minute 80 and on if he's still on the pitch. Austin Kranick chopped down by Kayo. Kayo, by the way, who has the distinction of scoring the first Michigan Stars goal at the new stadium. At the new field. Will be a stadium soon, hopefully. Well taken little half volley after a corner, if memory served, late first half against Bay Cities FC. Jordan Sailing, Puerto Rican international, over that free kick, went backwards to Mitchell Brickman. It's Nakai Kid DuPoint going up the right flank, looking for the run of Colin Muller, who will run out of space. Been a darn near airtight Michigan Stars defense this year. They've conceded just 7 times in 10 matches. They haven't scored a ton, but second fewest goals allowed in the league. Shmelev won that back off the shoulder of Elias McLeod. Jay Lee sliding into that one to win possession back for Flower City Union, but not for long. Looking for Marich, forced backwards. Firmino pings that out wide. And Kayo dancing with it. Tran out at the touchline. Waiting for Marich maybe at 6'5" to make himself available in the box for a cross, but Tran dispossessed.
You can see kind of the forefront of that screen. Shmelev is really making a lot of runs forward. He had 3 players up in the box trying to wait for a ball in from Tran, but it never came.
Flower City Union on the counter here. This is Sunil Varicone. Didn't quite pick out the right pass. It is so difficult to slide a ball through against this back line. It's a center back pairing of Constant and Zogos, long striders, big guys, 6'6" and 6'3". And Viracone, well, hoping to catch Makruva off his line, but that was a line drive with really no dip to it. Again, looking for Marich, left his feet against Kid DuPoint. He did well there. I do really like and appreciate our vantage point out here. We are very near the field, up a little bit. That means we can hear the communication between both sets of defenses in particular. Yeah, that's a free kick. Yunchai wrestling Kranick to the ground. Taken quickly, and the Stars having to recover, though maybe too quickly for Flower City Union to get their guys into any kind of good attacking position. There's a shot that's high and wide from Lucas Fernandez. Everybody felt kind of asleep at the switch in that sequence.
Yeah, they've tried to go fast on a couple restarts. The last one got called back because the player was still down with an injury. But this one went fast and I almost ended up with something. But you were making that point about the vantage point. We are very close, like you said. We are up a little bit. But there were a lot of kids at the last one, the last game, and you could hear so often how much information was being shared. And that's probably one of the most impactful things for the kids that are watching these games, to come and actually hear as well as see, so they can really understand what's going on and really change the way that that they play. Hopefully that's the big thing. Come get entertained, but also elevate your game a little bit by understanding what's going on the pitch.
Marich was offside again there. Almost 10 minutes in here at the Michigan Star Sports Center. Hi, Mason Lowry, Chris Black. Great to have you along. Thoughts on what we've seen so far, Chris?
Right, so far, been open-ended, right? Up and down, nothing to show for on the scoreboard, but at least we've gotten some direct play on both wides when it's been open, and also sometimes a little bit more patience. So it's been fun so far, but no one's broken yet, except for maybe a shoestring. Not sure what's going on in the field right now, but
so it's Nakai Kid DuPoint tying a bootlace of Michael Ortega, the goalkeeper for Flower City Union.
I think the issue is that the ears weren't big enough. They should have went back to loop, swoop, and pull, but it is what it is, I guess. I
tell you who's going to be a big fan of that little cameo that you and I just made, my mother, who cherishes any opportunity. I don't get to see her all that often. And tomorrow's her birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. The fireworks are all for you.
I told him to call. He never calls. I don't know why.
The Stars snuffing out another Flower City Union attack. Will be interesting to see how balanced the Stars' attack is. We've appreciated watching their fullbacks get forward the first half of the season. Here is Shmelev trying to get forward. The ball from McLeod to try and find it was intercepted by Dre Dees.
And really, this is the most I think we've seen Shmelev constantly going. He's rotating up. Youngchai even came in a couple times centrally. Shmelev was already up as one of the highest players in the field. And maybe that's just a change of personnel today, or what Flower City Union's giving them is that space for him to make those runs. You talked earlier about the center backs being so good for Michigan Stars. They're fine with two guys back. They're happy. They're finding some air duels or run on the end of a ball or getting in for a tackle, buying some time. But it's been really interesting watching them attack on this right side, and Shmelev really get into that attack on this side of the pitch. You see them, they're looking for it again. Stars are looking for it again, rotating to the right side. Flower City finally cuts it off. I think that was just part of Eurocone just kind of feeling, okay, this is where they're going. I'm going to stop it right here, make play predictable, and not give them the right side of the field.
Marich again having to come deeper and deeper. Free kick, I think, right out there at the touchline. It was a really well-timed tackle by Zelgos across the way. Will end up as a Flower City Union throw-in. Brickman just smacking that through the middle, mopped up by Matt Constant. Kaya with some space to advance into. Looking for Yunchai, but didn't quite play the right ball. Yunchai nearly won it back. Left Kranick in a heap on the deck. He has taken a beating these first 13 minutes. Austin Kranick, not exactly a happy return for him, I guess. He played his college soccer at Oakland. USL League Two veteran as well with Fort Wayne, owned by U.S. national team legend DeMarcus Beasley. And not just a silent partner either, but somebody who is really deeply ingrained in the operations of that club. They have hopes of moving up the divisions, building a riverfront stadium in Fort Wayne, and climbing the U.S. soccer pyramid. Not the easiest thing to do. Makrúva looking for Cyrus Tran, who's not the biggest but is quite good in the air. It's always a little funny on such a physically imposing team as the Stars are, almost across the board, when you see somebody who is of normal height, you might say, like Cyrus Tran.
Yeah, someone that I could look eye in the eye compared to you looking eye in the eye, some of those taller guys out there, but yeah, that is it.
Of course, we all have to look up at and to Matt Constant. Here is Tran out wide. Play that back to Campbell. And try the early cross. Here's Shmelev. Easy enough for Michael Ortega. First shot of the match for the Stars.
It really then was more for a redirect than a finish opportunity there.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting him to head that back across the 6. Brickman going for the early ball again. Picks out Viracone. Again, Makrúva off his line, but that won't trouble him. So they've done that twice now, Flower City Union. Trying to go direct, hit something early, and hope.
In wrong sport, right philosophy. Wayne Gretzky would have loved both those shots. Maybe wonder why I didn't shoot sooner. When they go in, though, they're spectacular.
I'm thinking Gretzky's might have been on frame.
He at least would have hit the goaltender with it. Little easier to hit the goaltender when they're half the goal, I guess, in hockey.
Ryan Homick, our referee. The assistant referees Jacob Little and Leighton Kelly. Nicole Green, the fourth official. Played on for Kranick, who's here on the left. Firmino there with him. Well, that's a nice idea. Found Viracone right at the edge of the 6. Snuffed out by Zogos.
Some amazing defending on the ball by Zogos in the end. Place like that, and any bump that's too much is going to be a problem. Won the ball back, got it out.
Went looking for Viracone, couldn't find him. Back with Fernandez. Trying to shake loose maybe for a shot. Looking for the 1-2 with Viracone. Dealt with by the Stars. Marich trying to keep possession for the Stars. He cannot. Flower City Union really trying to take control of things. See if they can build from the right flank this time. Jae Yun Lee spun that out of play.
Yeah, really the only decision now is it on the ground or in the hand.
Lee, who just scored his first goal of the season last time out against Albion San Diego, that 2-2 draw that we mentioned. Kayo didn't make the kind of contact that he wanted.
Yeah, disappointing there too, because Kayo could have went to Yunjai earlier direct. Instead, goes to Shmelov. Ends up being more of a combination play, trying to really spring a little bit more room out there, but never really gained any room out of it. Could have went there first.
Fernandez beaten to it by Firmino. McLeod with a nifty touch. Niftier still from Kayo. And Tran riding the challenge, I guess. I think the defender went for a ride instead. That was Colin Muller. And this is really the first dangerous set-piece opportunity for Michigan Stars. And we talk about it every home game. When they're as big as they are, they got so many guys you have to worry about inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, that's really the thing. And now it's going to have to be, though, more of a redirect, because you're looking at a ball played dead on. towards frame. So it's going to be more redirect. It's going to be hard unless he does whip it wide of the goal for something to get a little bit more force on.
Yunchai on the other flank this time. There were two players right at the edge of the 18 that wrapped each other up, took each other completely out of the play.
I was really trying to sort that one out. As official made movement towards the play. Not like he's going to call anything. Maybe just watch and make sure they both get up clean or buy some time, but nothing was ever called on it.
Chance for Firmino to dart forward. Maric laid that off. It's McLeod looking for Yunchai, but the flag is up again for offside. Deese with the wrong kind of swerve on that ball up the flank. Only shot from the home side so far, that header that was right at goal, courtesy of Yakov Shmelev. Over the top, hoping to find Maric, and Ortega stayed on his line. Maric trying to shake loose. Ortega dives on it. Ortega was away with the national team of Nicaragua for CONCACAF Nations League duty, by the way, last time Flower City Union came here. Stephen Ortiz got the start instead. In fact, their other international that was away for that match is now back and is on the bench tonight, Quentin Carey, who was away with the Bahamas.
It was almost to the point where for those couple of weeks, maybe they just needed to go on a break. So many players from NISA being fortunately pulled out for national team duty. What a great experience, obviously, for them. And tough to knock the locale for where most of those guys went. But
the Stars, too, for a couple of matches, were without Darren Rios, who was with Puerto Rico. Played all 90 minutes twice in Nations League action.
We did not get the call up, but anytime in the wintertime, especially anything like that, you know where to find us. Not a bad place to go.
Even scored against the British Virgin Islands in a 6-0 win. And yes, I'll commentate on soccer in the Caribbean any old time. Don't have to ask me more than once. 21st minute, still 0-0. Flag up far side. Feel like it's been a little bit trickier, Chris, for the Stars to break down FCU this time around.
Yeah, early on they had their success on the right side, but something's changed, and FCU's really shut that down, at least slowed it down, and they're going to try and make them go to the left side, which maybe that's where it's at. Just to change the tactics a little bit, maybe personnel as well.
Maric started the move by taking that off his chest. And Tran went looking for Kayo, who went to ground. Tran is still down. Counterattack potentially here for Flower City Union. This is Kranick on the left. Constant is there with him. Kranick, will he try for a shot on the left? That's, yeah, good team defending by the Stars, getting back in the box. It was essentially Kranick against the world. In the end, a Stars goal kick.
And Kranick was really hoping for something there. He's got him just moved out of the play, but they're at run. Reasonably close to the ball to have a chance to play it anyways.
You're kind of caught in two minds there. If you're Kranick, do you try and cut that onto the right foot and get a shot? Do you try and accelerate to the left of the much taller Matt Constant?
When it comes to the reach, right? I mean, those guys just have a long reach if they go to ground. We're just trying to react to a play you make on the ball. So tough to beat. And oftentimes as a pacey player like Kranick has an issue. They beat everyone down there, so if they get too far to that end line, there's no one else coming in. There's not a lot of options. So they got to buy a little bit of time.
Zelgos maybe spots an opening. Nothing else to advance into midfield. The guy kid to point dealt with that. And another offside against the Stars. If nothing else, the flags are getting workouts. The assistant referees.
They switch arms at halftime for raising that flag. I think Marich is not very happy with that call, and as you can imagine, he's slowly backing away from the ball anyways, as is.
Could really use a goal to liven things up a bit. Here's Viracone. Bit of space in front of him. Goes to Kranick to his left, near the corner flag. Back to Dees. And that's easy enough for Makruva. It's tough to send crosses into the box. I keep repeating myself, I feel like, but the Stars, that back line is so big. The Flower City Union attacking players are not so big. You have to be really, really precise if you're going to find the head of a Viracone or a Lee or a Fernandez against the likes of Constant and Zogos.
And it was definitely a lower ball anyways, trying to take away part of that height advantage, but at the same point, again, we go back to the length too. Length is an issue. But to get the ball, and then Makruva is so well off his line, so active.
Well, Ortega really put under pressure there by Marich. Andre Dees has got a problem. He was down. He tried to get back up and soldier on. Just went back down. You see him right there in the middle of your screen. Now, this is a Flower City Union team that does not have a complete bench. 4 outfield players and a substitute keeper. Russell Robles, the backup keeper. Arian Soberzasu, Gio Kanyas Harkeen, Marcus Micheletti, and the aforementioned Quentin Carey are all available.
And it's Micheletti that's kind of doing the early, soft warm-up right now, which might just be as much preventative as give something to do.
Nil-nil midway through the first half. NISA Soccer on 11 Sports. The Michigan Star Sports Center in Romeo, Michigan. The Stars already with a pair of 3-0 wins over Flower City Union this season. We've talked about it, trying to do it for the 3rd time running against them and trying to build further off of a really good point down at Chattanooga last weekend.
Injury turned into an impromptu water break. Official trying to get the game moving again.
It's not quite water break level of hot like it has been for much of the spring and into the summertime.
Oh, I feel fine.
Yeah, it feels lovely out here.
Obviously, the ones with the work rate, 26.5 minutes in, are going to be a little different in mind.
I don't know, man. All this talk is pretty taxing. I'm going to
is.
need to sit down pretty soon.
It is. Maybe in 20 minutes. There's also time for the 2 coaches. Saw Coach Banks talking a little bit to his players as well. Coaching staff's got some instructions. Don't know if anything really significantly changed, except for obviously on the Flower City side having to do something just to buy a little time as they're playing down a man at 10.
Dees, I think, had some blood on his left knee that has been dealt with. We'll see how long he can carry on. Well, they waved the trainer on to deal with something.
But no one, yeah.
Jae-Yun Lee maybe has an issue as well, and he will race to the touch line. Now, Dees will go back on. So there's still a man light, but they're light a different man now.
Yeah, it ended up being any contact head they take a little more seriously now, obviously. So I think they're just checking maybe or.
And I'm watching Jae-Yun Lee right below us, and he came over to the trainer and with kind of a shrug, and I didn't see what she said to him, but he clearly said twice, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here.
Pointing to his nose, I think that was it. So get a drink of water and wait to go back in. My team shifts which guy they're down. It's way back on.
Well done, the right winger playing left back, kind of. Lee came right out of the field, won a ball in the air.
It was a deft touch, too, just right back under a little bit of pressure. Played it so well.
I feel like Austin Kranick at the end of the night is going to be just one big bruise. All the shots that he's taken. He is the kind of attacking player that he gets himself into positions where all you can do is foul him.
Yep, he's got to get that anyways, right? That sounds like a sign of respect. I'm going to knock you down before you beat me.
Firmino trying to slot that through. Into and then through one of the bench chairs.
Oh, this is full. Just look at that. Trainer's on everything today. She's got the chair as well. Athletic training staff busy early in the game.
Elias McLeod fouling Sunil Viracone. He's a Michigander from Caledonia, former Crew Academy Wolves player. Elias McLeod, he's got the first yellow card of the match.
Officials setting the tone early on the delay of the game. Maybe that could have been something they was verbally warned earlier about fronting the ball.
It was over Kranick. Shmelev headed that down. Yunchai throws sailing to the turf, a little bit frustrated that didn't get the call he wanted, which would have been no call, and that free kick went a little too quick for referee Ryan Homick.
Yeah, he's shown he's letting the ball go early, but he motioned. The ball was still moving. Needs to be set before you play it. I can see it set up right there. Marriage taking away that cross. They don't want that switched out around the back. Michigan Stars trying to hold it this side of the field. Make play predictable.
Brickman coming forward. It's behind Kranick. Good recovery by Shmelev. That's a foul.
Yeah, you're able to see Fernandez and Kranick both kind of sitting in between the lines there, between that back line and the middle line for Michigan Stars. That's where they've been able to receive the ball recently. Just a quick combination play resulting in a turnover anyways. But that's something that I don't think they realized how open they were to be able to turn on it a little bit.
Out for a throw. Muller brought that down. And this is one of many areas where if you're the Stars, you miss Anthony Bowie, who we know does have a good long throw in. Jacob Campbell on a long throw in duty this evening.
He did so much work on the flank. The kids, we got to see him play, especially up and down. And then, like you said, on the long throws here, won't be bad to get on the end of it either.
Was looking for Constant. Put behind for a corner, first of the match for either team. Stephen Yunchai will trot over to serve this into the box.
Yeah, if this isn't an in-swing into about the 6 for Bedell, I'd be a little bit surprised.
Shmelev and Campbell are back on halfway for the Stars. Everybody else in and around the 18. Good delivery. Just grazed the head of Constant behind for a goal kick.
That's the delivery you want right there.
that hit constant kind of funny. Yunchai heading that infield. McLeod, who can't be too aggressive going to ground now. Remember, on a yellow card. That sent Ortega from one side of the 6 to the other.
Yeah,
He puts it right out of play.
So Ortega and McCrew having a competition who can receive the ball in the worst position and deal with it well, and I think both of them are being successful so far. I feel like that's the second time he's received the ball inside his 6 under significant pressure.
Read well by Dre Dees. And here he comes charging up the left flank. Tried to play that back for Viracon. Ends up with Alex Ainsko, the captain. Really nowhere to go. Forced backward by Kyle. Muller further to the right and Jae-Yun Lee. Well done. Simple enough from Kayo to stand him up. And Zogos won the foul with his fancy footwork.
Came with a warning from the official, probably more about the type of foul it was. Wasn't trying to play the ball, it was obvious, just trying to stop, pretty much a restart. Official trying to stamp that out now rather than let it go. So very similar kind of early policing like he did on coming too far forward the ball on a restart. Kind of encroachment.
Firmino for Maric. Gave it back to Firmino, could do nothing with it. McLeod, he's got to be careful on those, going to ground again. And Lee, that was a little overly elaborate maybe. And Campbell, we know he's got pace. Yunchai, the only player in the box, almost found him too. That was whipped in at pace. Ends up as a throw-in on the near side for Flower City Union, but that was well played.
Yeah, it wasn't. You kind of wondered, couldn't tell if Yunchai tried to pull back a little bit because he thought he might have been off, or just realized he wasn't going to be able to get it clean, so he let it go. A great build-up, great ball whipped in and a run in by Yunchai.
That's what, 6-7 times that Cranach's been fouled now in the first half? I should start a tally in the second half.
Yeah, we'll do that. We get a board up.
How many times he gets kicked?
There's a couple of them maybe a little easier than should have gone down. That might have been one of them. Shmelov, I think, had a point with that. Kind of a little complaint there.
First time we've called Tatenda Makruva's name in a bit. That was a critical foot in there from Dees. Had Yunchai been able to play that beyond him.
Yeah, you can see what Yunchai was doing. He made that run back in, a little feint, and then try to cut back up, make the defender buy in. Defender bought in, but he's able to make the tackle on the ball.
That was clean, says the referee, from Ainsko. Sailing, he just stood on the ball. Firmino lost out. Ainsko did well. Zogos steps in.
You can see why Ainsko wanted the ball to move. He's trying to point that ball away, get it out of the area. Ball's been here too long. Instead, they played it back into pressure. So Michigan Star was able to win it back.
Maric cleared out by Brickman. He has not seen a whole lot of the ball, Leon Maric.
Been active, had to search for it. Came all the way into the back line earlier in the half to receive a ball. So he's always been active to try and get on the end of something.
And Campbell, that's overhit. Hearing Colton Bly, the interim boss of Flower City Union, barking out instructions to his team. He's their second head coach of the season after Zach Agliata resigned in May.
Yeah, his concern is Michigan Stars getting in behind one of his defenders, so he's just giving the instructions just to drop as soon as he's in your sights, just drop off, keep him in front.
Hasn't really been an issue for the most part. Dees goes flying. Shmelev stood his ground. Wonder if some attacking support for Leon Marich might be coming at halftime.
Yeah, someone right in front of the link up to a little bit.
Kyle, well played for Cyrus Tran. Looking for Campbell, and Campbell, well, very nearly got there. Will be a goal kick.
Yeah, did a little extra work there coming on the other side of him then. Okay, the point, you rightly assumed he'd be coming up on the left side of him. But Campbell decides to go around the right side a little longer to get there, but a better chance to actually get it. Otherwise, Kid DuPoint's just going to shield that ball away out of bounds.
Kid DuPoint was a USA residency kid down at Bradenton. Capped 7 times for the under-17 national side. Looking for Kranick again. This time Makruva does actually have to get back to his line, but not for long. It's a goal kick. That's asking a lot of Austin Kranick to do by himself now with 5 minutes plus stoppage time left until the break.
Yeah, a number of times just going to try to spring people quick, get a quick shot off, and not even sending people with them. I've seen them really pretty much give up on the aerial duels. They're obviously going to try to do it on the ground when possible, unless it's some space they can exploit in behind.
Fernandez for Lee was waiting for the contact from Campbell and Lee, and Veracone just wide. Oh, that was the chance for Flower City Union before the break.
And negative diagonal ball on the ground. That's the dangerous area. That's the dangerous place against the grain. Didn't miss by much. It was just enough.
And I just been about to say that the Stars defensively, they don't make a lot of mistakes. And before I could even start that sentence, a straight pass from Campbell led to that glorious opportunity for FCU.
They've been really trying to run 3 when it's a kind of a sustained build-up, and that was one of them. So they had 3 up in that front line. That's what really creates some problems for the Stars to defend.
Yeah, Marich got a trip from Dre Dees. Feet got tangled up in another dangerous set-piece chance for the Stars.
I think Dees was trying to apologize or get something out of it to Marich, and he's having none of it right now.
No, because that never feels good, whether it was on purpose or not.
Nope. What would feel better for him, though, is if he gets a serve, he can get something on.
All would be forgiven.
Yep.
Marich or whomever. Constant up there, too. McLeod just pulled away from Yunchai. Nobody minding him. Yunchai's ball allowed to bounce in the box. Lee came charging out after it, trying to get it away, which he does. And Makruva is going to come all the way up near halfway. Dees control. Yunchai trying to win it back. Combined with McLeod to do just that. Here's Marich, nifty touch. Here's Kyle, maybe a chance for the shot, and it's wide. Cyrus Tran was arriving at the back post, too.
Yeah, after he took that first touch, I think Tran was the better option as he came. You've got to go early on goal if you take a touch there. Lets the keeper get set up. Defenders get where they need to be. Great run in by Tran.
Try from the right side this time with the Kai Kid DuPoint. And Lee with a straight pass right at Kayo and Yunchai. Ball played beautifully right into his feet, in stride. Here he comes down the line, one-on-one with Sailing. Trying to hold it up. That's a corner.
Yeah, once he turned his back to the goal, he was always either playing for a corner or a foul right there. The result was the corner. You could see why Dees took the opportunity to knock it away when he did, but could be costly.
Yunshai's delivery, deep. Constance header, looked for Firmino, nearly found him. Not cleared very far. Kayo picks it up. Chance for his right-footed cross will lead to another corner that came careening off of Sailing. We'll try it again. Just grazed off of Constant. Marich couldn't do anything with it. Throw in right in line with the edge of the 18, and Campbell with that long throw in. Not a whole lot of time to take it, but he will race up to get in position. Maybe one last roll of the dice for the Stars before halftime. Might be the last opportunity. Everybody has stayed up. Lee's header out. McLeod's header back forward. No chance for a shot on the turn. Maybe something there for Zogos. And he and Ortega come together, and I don't think either of them are feeling too good. We'll have 3 minutes of time added on.
3 minutes of extra time.
Mostly, I would think, for Dees and Lee having to come to the sideline to get checked out by the trainer. Wonder if he got a shot above the knee from where he and Nakai Kid to point were kind of gesturing.
So official did announce he's doing a drop ball stop for an injury, so he's going to be able to pick it up with his hands if he likes.
Which he will do eventually. Wanted Marich to take one more step closer to him.
That's right. And this is why you can see opened up a player to receive the ball without as much pressure. Marich really worked hard to get some pressure on the end, maybe force that ball a little bit touch early. That was 3 minutes of stoppage time, so the question now comes down, does he add a little bit more for that injury?
Some will, some won't. Referee's discretion. Will be a Stars throw-in.
So the unfortunate irony would have been if it was moving towards a 48-minute mark. Flower City Union has a chance to score, and he blows the whistle dead, and then it's on. It's on them on the injury anyways. He didn't give it to him. Still ended on 3 minutes.
Campbell in a good position again. That was neatly played. Kayo spun down. And here's Steven Yunchai. Play allowed to continue. Shmelev. Trent had to circle to get a touch. Campbell's cross. Didn't make it to Marich. Kayo, back heel. Firmino loves a shot from distance. He'll line one up here, but that's rolled right at Ortega. I don't think that was the contact he was looking for.
Not quite square on that contact. A little bit of bounce still before he had it, but he's got to do it at some point. They were trying to track him down a little bit. Ball was just above that top of the 18 for way too long. Offsides flag up. Center official wants that ball to stop moving completely.
On the whistle, I just assumed that was the referee blowing for halftime. I have to think he will soon.
Yeah, really just one more try direct, see what happens.
Maybe one last attack. McLeod looking for Tran. Tran at the edge of the box. Cyrus Tran trying to plow his way through the defense. Couldn't quite pull it off. Firmino and Yunchai caught leaning back just a touch. Firmino a bullet header forward. Marich trying to hold. Kayo for McLeod. Zips a ball in. Oof. Well, Kai Kidd to point. Popped that up for Ortega, who smacked it away. And that's the last act of the first half. Chris Black, thoughts on the opening 45?
Well, you know, right away at the beginning, it was wide open both ways. Really thought there was going to be some goals in it for us early in this game, the different ways they played. But credit to Flower City Union, really pressing for a different result than last time. Really the best chance of the game, really, on the right in front of the goal inside the 6 on the combination play. Didn't get anything from it. But the line share of the chance, I think, still the Michigan Stars away. But both teams probably not too excited about the way they played the first half, wanting a lot more for the second half.
All to play for in the second 45. You're watching NISA on 11 Sports. It's Michigan Stars 0, Flower City Union 0. Back at the Michigan Stars Sports Center, you're watching NISA on 11 Sports. It's 0-0 between the Stars and Flower City Union as we get set for the start of the second half. Mason Lowry and Chris Black, hope you're having a wonderful start to your 4th of July holiday. I'd ask you, Chris, what we're looking for in the second half, but the answer is a goal or preferably more than one.
I would assume that was in the conversation in both locker rooms. Maybe on the Flower City Union side, they might have said, if still scoreless at, then maybe we'll pull back within our shell, or if we have to sub. Because we talked about that earlier in the game. The situation on the subbing side of things is pretty anemic on the Flower City Union side, where they don't have a lot to choose from. So they could get in a situation where they can be open-ended for a while. But if there's not a goal in it for them, maybe they do start to pull back a little bit, be a little bit more reserved towards the end of that game, especially if they have to burn a couple subs. Had a couple guys down early, but we couldn't really tell if that was more to get a break or, in Lee's case, no one knows why apparently. He certainly didn't know why he had to come off the field. So at that point, that's good news. The Michigan Stars side, when do they make a change? If they stay with the current tactics, if it's not resulting in a goal, doesn't matter how effective it is at this point. If it's not resulting in chances on goal and or actually goals, when do they make that change? Maybe they get back up to 2 targets up top, change how they attack in that line, or we see Stephen Elias coming in the field, his first minutes for the new club. Is that something that is early on, and does it change the tactics of the team and how they play in the second half?
Yeah, Stephen Elias, a new signing since the match at Chattanooga, comes over from Valley United FC, who are still in the midst of a 30-day operational pause. Someone who played collegiately at NC State and Seton Hall, scored once earlier this season for Valley United. And I think both Elias and Darren Rios are going to come on. So we thought we might see changes for the Stars, and there apparently are 2 of them, Elias McLeod and Cyrus Tran, the 2 that'll make way.
Tran had a nice chance on goal late in the game. We talked about trying to plow his way into getting a chance. Made a late attacking run, almost came out with something. A number of good chances late in that half during stoppage time.
So that means a new winger and a new central midfielder. Probably not a change of shape just yet. But when the Stars beat Flower City Union 3-0 the second time, last time they played here in Metro Detroit last month, the Stars went with the 2 big fellas up top, Leon Marich and James Stone. They were so dominant. Flower City Union didn't really have an answer for either of those 2. Stephen Yunchai scored twice. Marich scored the other. We'll see if pairing up the 2 big guys together, if that is something that they'll do at some point.
Yeah, you saw the players on the bench that they're getting settled in. They're probably hoping they don't get settled in too long on the bench. They're probably hoping to get back up, get warmed up as this second half gets underway. Trying to figure in the minutes on the pitch.
So the Stars in white, Flower City Union in black and purple and pink numbers. They, I believe, are unchanged from the first half, despite having a couple of players have to go off with little minor nicks and dings. Dees had to come off, and Jae Yun Lee, we kind of joked about it. He had to come off, but he wasn't entirely sure why. The Stars created a bit more in the last 5 minutes of the first half than they did in the first 40 minutes of the first half. We'll see if they pick up more or less where they left off. And we'll also see what Stephen Elias can bring to the table. Looks like he's sitting in midfield, and Rios might be as well. He scored the last time the Stars played here from the penalty spot. 2-1 win over Bay Cities. Viracone couldn't quite pick that up. Well played by Jonathan Firmino. Campbell playing that for Marich to chase after. Nakai Kidd to point beat him to the ball. Flower City Union team again. Ortega in goal with Ainsko the captain. Kidd to point, Lee, Sailing, Muller, Viracone, Brickman, Fernandez, Dees, and Kranick, who was really effective in that first half. Here comes Dees getting into a good position in the channel. There's the cross, knocked down just beyond the penalty spot by the Stars and cleared away to safety.
It looks like it's looking for Kranick, who actually veered into an offside position anyways. That Michigan Stars back line had been dropping and then started the hold. That's when Kranick made that run in behind. It would have been called off if he would have received it.
Ortega took a knock too, the goalkeeper, right at the end of the half. Coming together with Vasilio Zogos, Michigan Star center back. Didn't have a whole lot to do, Ortega, the first 45. Here's Dees charging forward again. Tried to play that to Viracone, who was right next to him. Broken up by the Stars. And Fernandez trying to poke it forward. Nobody there to make a run. And that's scooped up by Tatenda Makruva. To Campbell. Slid that for Leon Marich, who had stayed on side. Right on the shoulder of his man. Darren Rios. And Firmino. Matt Constant, that sword on him a little bit. Campbell popped that through, and Marich had returned from an offside position. It's really well read by Constant. And Marich is offside, trying to get into an onside position to receive a cross. It's palmed away by Ortega, brought down by Rios. Can he get a shot away? Tried to leave it for Caio. Deflected way up into the air. That's Elias. His header tried to go near post into the side netting.
Nice sequence for Michigan Stars. And you saw Elias get an early chance on goal to get his first maybe here. And tried to go cheekily to that near post low. Ortega, I think, probably would have been able to sort himself out on that one if read, but at least doing something with it.
Kranick, that's as deep as we've seen him come, I think. Brickman finding Dees. Lucas Fernandez. Spins out of play for a goal kick. Darren Rios, who can play on either flank. He can drop into midfield, and of course for his national team with Puerto Rico, recent Nations League action, he was used as a right back, an orthodox right back. So there's a lot that he can do. Good penalty taker too. We saw that last time we were here.
And a really free-flowing attack when Michigan Stars are at their best, so that's obviously something that is in his corner. Playing on this team, being able to kind of settle into so many areas because he is so versatile.
Kid DuPoint overhit that a little bit. Lee couldn't control. Campbell, that's a bit of a slice. Ortega had to go very short there, back to DuPoint. Viracone. The return ball from Ainsko, who's gotten forward here. Kranick through the middle. Lee wide on the right. Not hit quite hard enough to find Kranick. Put behind by Zilgos for a corner.
Gotta imagine a short corner coming from Flower City Union.
We saw Maryland Bobcats last Stars home game do that quite a bit to try and pull all the big bodies out there for the Stars, kind of out of position.
Still have Lee really posting the keeper there, but backed off immediately. So his ball is played in.
There's a neat little flick of the heel at the near post. Dealt with by the Stars. There's Deese. Will he go for an early cross or will he continue to race forward? He's still coming forward to the edge of the 18. Makruva will come for that.
Let's see if he goes fast or not, and he does. 2 runners forward, 1 on each side of the field. Smart restart by Makruva.
Right hustle from Sailing. We know that's something that Tatenda Makruva likes to do, play that early ball and try and release Marich or Yunchai or whomever.
Yeah, just one defender was back. Marich was the first to make the run on the far side, the right side of the field, making that run up. Then Yunchai came on the other side, just trying to make that defender pick a side.
Kayo brought that down. Campbell getting forward ahead of him. That's where it goes. Campbell played it early, almost behind Kid DuPoint. Rios trying to win it back. Couldn't quite do so. Campbell can. Kayo thought about the shot. It's Elias. Shmelev's ball in, looking for Yunchai. Headed away by Flower City Union. And Lee bangs away into midfield. Constant rolls that to the feet of Jacob Campbell. Not a great deal of movement out there ahead of him. Not much that Kayo could do with that. That patience in the buildup that we talked about early in the first half. Stars don't mind just knocking the ball around at the back.
Yeah, really, you look at their size, you're assuming they're just going to be putting that ball down and making it go, making it run. But they are great on the ball. Very patient. They're willing to knock it around. And not just going to go direct. They're actually kind of surprised when they skip ahead to a direct ball at the back.
Kranick knocked that up the line, but no way that Deese was going to get to that. Well, the Stars have been goalless their last couple of matches. The goalless draw with Chattanooga, the 1-0 defeat at home, their only home defeat against Maryland Bobcats. And just the one shot on target, I suppose you could say, so far in this one. That was the Shmelev header.
Kind of a myriad of runs into the box on the ball, always defended away. And some good serves into the box as well, but you certainly would be hoping you'd be sitting on more opportunities than that at this point in the game.
Campbell goes down kind of awkwardly. Stars have a free kick. in-swinger here for Yunchai. And he will have Darren Rios off screen all the way at the touchline, 15 yards beyond him. Yunchai's ball, a line drive, headed away. Kayo kind of got it tangled up in his feet. Firmino racing to keep this in play, couldn't do anything with that. Constant picked it up. Now Yunchai. Couldn't find Marich. That's good stuff from Kayo. Kind of smacked into one of the youth fields. Tell you what, you're going to get a steps in. You're going to get your steps in if you're a ball kid or ball man or ball woman trying to run down the balls that are cleared a long, long way away from the pitch here. It just rolled over the boot of Rios.
It could be the ultimate time waster late in the game. If you can win the ball fast enough and pump enough of them far away from the field, you might actually run out of soccer balls. At some point, if you go really quickly. I'm sure the referee will be onto that pretty quick, though, and get some more circulation.
That would maybe be one way you could waste time and kind of get away with it.
Yeah. Wouldn't last very long until they open the ball bag, I guess.
Read really nicely by Zogos, trying to slide this through, and Ortega comes out. Flag was up anyway.
Yeah, there's a held-up whistle just trying to see if Yunchai was going to get on in there. Marich from the other side of the field. Yunchai straight offside as Marich kind of cut back to the ball. That's why the back line stepped, was when Marich came back to the ball.
Rio shoulder to shoulder with Colin Muller. Zogos over the top again. And Marich, has he stayed on side this time? Can he keep this in play? Ran out of room.
Not a bad look to it, though. Not far off in the end, and Marich was far enough up because that Flower City Union back line really was kind of too deep. So it was close enough that Marich had a chance to get onto it. So, of course, the goalkeeper had to be a little bit more careful with a wide ball because it was a good serve being out wide. Just kind of ran out of steps there.
Lee flicks forward. Fernandez to maybe chase after, but Constant is going to win every aerial battle. It's so hard to beat these guys in the air. There's Fernandez. To carry it a long way. Craddock tried to flick it back into his path. That was Elias, who hasn't seen much of the ball since coming out at halftime. 62nd minute. Elias kept that in. Kid DuPoint trying to change the point of attack. And Fernandez just wriggled away from Shmelev there. Good defending by Yunchai.
Really nowhere to play it under pressure, so went long, but with just that one front runner, Marich is already on this near side of the pitch towards the camera side. So really all it ended up doing was getting Flower City Union a ball without a whole lot of pressure on it. So able to build for a while. Now really the first pressure they've seen is Marich kind of making his way across the field, but he can't run back and forth all game long.
Seeing a fair amount of the ball, Flower City Union. They just haven't been able to do a whole lot with it. Trying to change that here. Again, Constant snuffs out a ball forward. And that's just played much too quickly. Firmino blocks that straight out of play.
Coach Banks trying to push Michigan Stars kind of line forward. Put a little more pressure on the Flower City Union. Just that throw probably came too fast, which is good for Flower City Union seeing that coming. Got the ball in play and got to move to the far side of the field, but the turnover in midfield.
Good from Campbell to get away from Lee. Campbell's cross behind everybody. Here's Yunchai. Tried from the opposite side, blocked away by Dees, and that was off of Yunchai's leg. And then concedes the free kick. I feel like both sides are maybe equally frustrated with how things have played out.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. And more likely on the Flower City Union side, it's the fact that they had chances to score. Not that they were coming in expecting to win this game maybe. Of course, you always hope. And they're always expecting good things yourselves. But the way things have gone, they probably feel like they should have had one out of this already.
Zogos back to Makruva. Campbell and Marich. Rios Cayo now. But nobody up there to make a run.
Yeah, Campbell had already turned. He's already retreating back. And that ball was played and really just I thought it was bailed out, but I guess not. The official saying that it was last touch by Michigan Stars.
Trevor Banks was imploring his guys to get further forward and put pressure on off the throw-in. And it worked. Not a long throw from Campbell this time. Backwards one to Zogos. Yunchai wide right. Elias ahead of him. Yunchai took it himself. Colin Muller headed that away. Elias just kept it in. Nice work. And good balance. Tried to play the cross. Dees with the block. It's one of those where you're watching it and you're thinking, well, that has to be something.
Someone fouled someone by doing something there.
Apparently not.
This is one of those moments where the fourth official, usually nothing too animated down there, but has to walk over and just shake head. Yep, nope, nothing there. Nothing there. That was called. I don't know. I'm not sure. Far side of the field.
Comes Jacob Campbell again. Ooh, almost dropped in for Rios.
It's really the second time Dan Rios has made it really, really poignant, dangerous runs in behind. I think the first one we saw just about 3 minutes earlier was really more about opening up space for Marich to run in. And that one was almost a recipient of a really well-cut ball in. There wasn't a lot of space to put that ball in there, and it almost went up, went down. Almost right to him.
Campbell, that was behind Marich. Elias, and too much. He's starting to see a little bit more of the ball now, Stephen Elias.
In the dry heat air, that ball would have dropped earlier. That's probably the difference. He's trying to adjust to.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course.
The dry heat.
Elias, though, like we said, he played his college soccer on the East Coast at NC State and Seton Hall. He is a native New Yorker. Shmelev standing his ground to win it back for the Stars. It's only Yunchai and Marich who are up there. Building with Rios on the left. Yunchai up ahead. Marich will peel away towards the penalty spot. Yunchai's cross headed behind.
That was fun to see build up. You saw the run coming across for Yunchai. I almost kind of push him. Marich with a hand over. I'll go for it. You can see how they understand where he is most dangerous. Yunchai was always trying to get on that ball, turn it back up, and hit Marich, making that run to the far post. That was always the plan there.
Yunchai's delivery, high and deep, looking for Constant.
I don't think either official knew who touched it last.
When in doubt, goal kick.
Yep, fair enough. 4 sets of eyes, all difficult to see there. Still some gestures from the players.
Firmino always puts himself about in midfield, and Marich got himself into a good position. Couldn't exploit it, though. The last time Flower City Union had a throw-in a position like that, they immediately gave possession away to the Stars. They've done it again here. Kayo goes down. That's a free kick.
And it's going to be a yellow card for dissent there. The foul's called a little earlier than that, just a little bit of a hold. Hold on the call, waiting to make that call. Just under 20 minutes left in this second half.
It was Lee who got booked. And it's not Yunchai over this free kick, it's Darren Rios. Yunchai is in the Rios role about 15 yards straight ahead and at the moment unmarked. Rios, they didn't attack that quick enough, and that maybe stayed in the air a little too long. Elias got cleared out. Caio just nicked the top of Marich's boot. Well, that was a good combination to start, and then an underhit pass. And here come the Stars again. Yunchai with pace. Can he get onto this? Brickman retreating defensively. Cross wasn't hit especially well. Will be a throw-in.
Yeah, 3 runners, all really that near post and farther away. Tough to hit a ball that hard, running that kind of pace. Yunchai's ball at least had to be dealt with, which is why they're still sitting on a throw.
See if Yunchai or somebody, anybody, can get on the end of the Jacob Campbell throw. Looking for Constant to flick that on, which he does. And Zogos came together with Ortega.
Love the lip reading. Stop for the referee. I heard someone complain there was an elbow and stuff like that, just trying to get a card out of that. But in the end, you know, it was a 50-50 ball until the goalkeeper had it firmly in possession. The referee just feels like he became out of possession because of contact. So just a kick, and it's only because the keeper lost possession there.
Free kick for Flowers City Union, who are ready to make their first change. And it's Quinton Carey coming on. And he'll replace Jae Yun Lee.
Sorry, sitting on a yellow card. You can actually even hear the referee stating that as well. To hurry up, get off the field. You are sitting on a caution.
Carey, 25 years old, born in Oklahoma, capped 8 times of the national team of the Bahamas. He has scored twice. See what kind of impact he can make.
And Jae Yun Lee was certainly fun to watch, entertaining. Just alone with the trying to figure out why he was out. But no, but
I don't know.
but no, he had some chances in the game as well, and a good tackle that ended up being a foul on the yellow card, for dissent.
Campbell heading that on. Well done. Here's Marich. Campbell can keep this in. Here's Rios. Left-footed cross. I think that took a deflection. And Muller, he's given that away. Might get away with it. Campbell could only hit it sideways. Caio trying to win it back. Stretched kind of awkwardly. It's an FCU free kick.
And Darren Rios in the battle for the ball is actually pulling the jersey. It's as much as what the foul was called for than anything else.
Yeah, Yunchai was being held up.
It was actually interesting, too, because just up until that tackle, it was interesting to see kind of Yunchai waiting, kind of just waiting, and then suddenly you could tell when he's going for the ball. He was all in on it, clean through it. And Deese gets him with the tackle.
He got booked for that. Got a handshake from Stephen Yunchai.
Pretty much a compliment when it's a strategic foul like that, isn't it? Hey, Ed, you were in, man. Took it down. No hard feelings.
Well, that's not what Colin Miller was trying to do, I don't think. He had Campbell beyond him, behind for a corner. When Stephen Yunchai got up and his collar was up, he's wearing a big long sleeve jersey, number 7, collar up. I'm thinking Eric Cantona, mid-90s Manchester
right.
United.
Yep. Has not cleated anyone in the chest yet so far in this game. In the crowd. So that's a little different so far.
And long may that continue. We'll have to wait. Referee's whistle, and I think a couple of players already tussling right on the goal line. It's Stephen Elias, the new man for the Stars. He's lurking around Ortega, the goalkeeper. Yunchai's ball. Diving header. Wide.
Gotta love the effort, though. Selling out completely for that ball. You know, you're a center back. You make it all the way up that field. You got to go for it. Zogos did all he could for it. Just a little bit wide.
Firmino scored an equalizer from a diving header late against Syracuse Pulse earlier this year, worth noting. So they do have a diving header from a free kick in them. Marriage couldn't get to that. Now getting short on time here for both teams. Firmino popped that back to Yakov Shmelev. That's a foul. Firmino is asking for a booking. Not for himself, for the player that committed the foul on Elias. Another change for Flower City Union. Marcus Micheletti. 24 on for 42. That's Deese, somebody else on a yellow card. And this is maybe trying to consolidate and take that point because Deese has been effective getting forward. Yeah. You take that threat away and you're maybe just trying to see this one over the line.
Yep, yeah, you get the booked player out. Compress a little bit. If he's not careful, he's going to get another one to it. As the center official started walking over to him. And Zogos was either going to help him off the field or say good game right there as he came over to him as well.
24, Marcus Micheletti checks in for Flower City Union.
Micheletti, an old steady hand from Bristol, Rhode Island. 28 years old. He's played in Sweden in the past, played collegiately at Rhode Island. Free kick is headed on. Constant heads it further on. And Firmino knocked that down across the 6. Rios dummied, still there in the box. Danger not gone yet. Firmino will bring this down. Back to Caio. He'll have a shot. That's deflected. And Quentin Carey pops that into the Stars bench for a throw-in.
Yeah.
Nice catch by Cyrus Tran.
Way too many good things happened there not to have at least gotten a shot on goal out of that.
Well, and Macruva way off his line. The Stars throw-in will wait until after the changes.
Yeah, credit to Campbell in a 1v3 in a 3 square foot area. Actually ended up at least getting the ball back via throw-in with a deflection.
Two attacking changes, Matty Cornish and James Stone coming in for Kayo and Marich.
Yeah, initial thought that Stone just going to go right into a high striker area where Marich played, be that target up top.
He does it well, too. No goals or assists this year, but he's played well enough to produce. I thought he was sensational first time we saw the Stars against Flower City Union.
Yeah, it really was. Made other people better. And a lot of what those targets do is...
Carey, that's a neat little touch. Not to cut you off there for Viracone, and Carey still ahead of him. Dug out by Campbell. Wide left, and the flag is up. That's Austin Kranick. Cornish, by the way, has scored once this year. Really will take an opener against Syracuse back in the spring.
Well, that's a little concerning. Zogos kind of clutched his hamstring after playing that last ball.
That's something the Stars don't need. Well curved ball by Cornish for Campbell. Cross was that overhit, or was that not a great route to the ball?
Yeah, kind of wonder if he's just thinking too many people are making that run in, I guess, in that situation. Yunchai looked back, kind of expecting it looked like almost a back to be making that run in and behind him, like he opened up space for somebody, and there was space there.
Constant shuffling forward. Stone for Elias. And Cornish alongside. Cornish clipping that through. Pop it back to the right. Shmelev's ball in, looking for Elias. Campbell's there. And Carey has to clear to Suniel Viracone. Lucas Fernandez, I mentioned earlier, he's got a late goal in him. He's scored plenty this year. He accelerates away from Constant. Fernandez cross blocked by Firmino, trying to whip that to the back post. Did not have any kind of angle at all.
Yeah, best part was Rowan just getting the defender up in the air. After that, really didn't do much with it, did he?
Jacob Campbell. And out of Stone's reach. Five minutes left for either side to find a winner. Elias lost out to Alex Ainsko there. That's a great challenge from Rios to force Carey out of play. Rios on the turn. There wasn't anything open ahead of him. Slides that to Cornish. Cross to Shmelev. Looking for Stone. Away by Flower City Union. Danger not gone yet. Here comes Rios. And Rios had to take the shot quickly.
Everything going to be very methodical, we'll call it, for Flower City towards the end of these 4 minutes coming up here. At some point, a warning's going to have to come. Michigan Stars deciding to starting the press now on the goal kick's been successful there recently.
Constant couldn't head that away. Viracone was expecting Micheletti to be up there. Eventually he was, but not when he wanted him to be. Looking for Stone. Keeper's out. Ortega played that perfectly. That's a push. Carry on Constant. Lost his boot in the process. Wouldn't let the restart happen as quickly as Makrúva wanted it to. Cornish. Kind of a poor giveaway by the Stars. And Fernandez. We know he's got pace. Makrúva backpedaling to his line.
On the side there, says the referee.
And Firmino did that perfectly.
Yep, did. Kind of looked like Fernandez was probably just as happy staying out there and killing some more clock than cutting into the goal as it was.
Campbell racing forward. Stone ahead of him. Yunchai's making a run through the middle as well. And Stone couldn't turn the corner. Did that come off of last? Well, it's a corner.
There's a really good run by Yunchai, but wasn't able to be served the ball. So Stone was more than a good option there. You know, a guy like that's going to be hold the ball if he needs to anyways, or apply the pressure as he did to create a turnover. And now he's the perfect target. Zogos is well up there.
Can they get this one right? Well, here they come. It's Ainsko on the ball now for Flower City Union. Waiting for the Cavalry to arrive. That's Carey to the outside. Fernandez left it for Sailing. Constant scuffs that away. Kid to points ball for Ainsko. Viracone. 3 minutes of time added on here right at the end. And Yunchai concedes the free kick. Now will it be Viracone, the former Duke Blue Devil, or Fernandez? He scored 5 times this year, loves a late goal like we've been talking about. Certainly within shooting range for these two. It'll be Fernandez. Was headed down, still there at the edge of the 18. Brickman back with Colin Muller. Plenty of players up in the box. There's the delivery. Thumping header out by Zogos. Stephen Elias didn't play it as quickly as Stone, I think, was hoping for. And that's kind of what he's gesturing back at his teammate.
Yeah, James Stone had made a run early. They had to pull back then. Wasn't as dangerous when he made his second run.
Here's Fernandez again. Can Carey keep this in? Goal kick. Played roughly half of time added on. Another 90 seconds still to play. The Stars trying to get men forward. Zogos leading it. Here's Darren Rios. Zogos kept his run going. That's good. Zogos trying to cut it back onto the right foot, which he does. Here's Matty Cornish. Cornish, can he find shooting space? He'll try. That was blocked near the edge of the 18 by Brickman.
Yeah, it was four players.
Gives the free kick away.
I was going to say 4 players back from Stars, too, and they're just dropped way off, too soft. So it ended up being a 2v5 really in the end there, and obviously foul. You got to take your chance there. If you can win that ball and keep it in there, you got one more chance at goal. At this point, you probably don't have one. Let's get a very quick clear out off this.
Free kick played short to Colin Muller. Quentin Carey has found a little bit of space. Took it to the corner. Throw in near the corner flag for the Union. Maybe their last chance now to try and steal it. Muller back to Viracone. Tries the cross, away by Cornish, sailing. The 3 minutes have been played. Muller, really nobody there for him. And Elias, well, able to just prevent that from being a corner. Throw in instead. Here's Alex Ainscoe. Right-footed cross, Zogos, Viracone still there in the box. No angle, trying to twist and turn. It's well defended by Zogos. And that's it. So the two teams have to settle for a point. I think a really good performance all the way around by Flower City Union. They came in having played the Stars already twice this year, conceded 6, scored none. They can't get on the score sheet tonight, but they keep the Stars out, and that's easier said than done.
Yeah, you look at, obviously, a team on the one side, the Stars have been so good defensively all year with the goals against average, and Flower City giving up so many. But as you said, they came in a little bit different tactics. It looked like a little bit different, the way they set up against Michigan Stars today, and part of that may have been the success, or it could be frustration level on the other side for the Stars, again, going scoreless. But, I mean, as you said, points are given out. Each team gets one. I imagine one's pretty excited about that. Other one's probably a little disappointed, like to have a little bit more going away on the road after this again. But you got to be at least look at how you played today and move on to the next.
I guess draws are like buses for Flower City Union. They played their first, 14 matches without a single tie, and then 2 come along at once. Back-to-back against Albion San Diego and here against the Stars. So if you're Flower City Union, you're pretty delighted to go back to Rochester, New York, having taken a point. And from the Stars' point of view, like you say, less pleased, didn't score. And in the end, they got into the final third a fair amount, but didn't really create enough meaningful scoring opportunities to be able to take one.
Yeah, and a lot of I think it was that back line of Flower City Union dealt with so many things coming in at him, which really at the end, how often did Ortega see the ball? Not that often. It was usually to his feet or cleaning up crosses or cleaning up something on a drop ball. So, yeah, that final ball was escaping them the whole night to really get something special on